Hi everyone, it's Nancy, and I'm back with my next set of tags for the 52 tags handmade, hosted by Anne Brooke. So excited! These were fun. Our first tag was a location in a pocket, and this is my location. And I made the storefront of Handspun Gallery. And Handspun Gallery was a company that I created in 1991, and I ended up selling it 9 years later in the summer of 2000. It was a family business that everyone in the family really enjoyed, spent time in, worked in, was part of. I have a son and a daughter, and at the time I was married, and we all just really loved the store. It was just a wonderful thing for us. We had a lot of fun. This is almost identical to how my store looked. I even used a gold thread to represent my brass address, 400 Main Street, and I put a little brass doorknob on there. I hung the little sign, and it's a little piece of muslin, but I couldn't write anything on it to save my life. It had a brick little front, and I highlighted the fabric that kind of looks like bricks, and then I highlighted this little piece of gray fabric to I put some stitches in it to make it look like a sidewalk out front, and I created the pocket under the awning so that the awning would stick out. And in my pocket, my little special memento is from a gentleman who visited the store almost every day for years and years. He was a retired saddle maker, and he did leather carving and scrimshaw, and my store was just full of spinning wheels and anything to do with fiber arts, of course, because it was a fiber arts gallery. I guess I didn't say that. Handspun gallery, meaning everything was handspun or handmade in my store. And he made this little pin for me. It's a wonderful little treasure, which I have tons of. People brought me sheep pins and, little stuffed animals and little sculptures. I have a million little spinning wheel art, little things. That's pretty simple. It's just a picture of my storefront. Because that looks so simple and it doesn't seem like much, I wanted to show you a few pictures. Before I show you these pictures, I have to tell you this is a letter to my mom. And when I wrote my mom about my store, I put the pictures, I used photocopies, and I put little notations about the store in each one. This is a picture of myself and Matt Klein at the time when I first opened my store in 91. It was really tiny. You can see there it's not very big, not much inventory. A few months later, underneath here where there was a bench, now we have inventory. And a couple months after that, there's even more. Same with those. I'm just kind of explaining things to my mom. This is 400 Main Street. This is where my business grew to. I had a corner location that was really nice and big and quite beautiful. There's my 400 Main Street. And I carried lots of hand-spun yarns and mill-spun yarns. I carried lots of product, gifts, and like alpaca teddy bears and handmade animals that people made with their hand-spuns and hand-wovens. Blankets, jewelry, all kinds of gifts that were relating to the fiber arts. This was me in 1998 taking a blanket off the loom, and this was my husband at the time, and he was weaving a blanket, and I set it up and took it off, and he did all the fabrication in there. And this was the last little page of my mom's letter, but me standing by some of the gift items, like little knitting books and baskets and candles and stuffed animals that were related to the industry. One of my really nice customers made me a sweatshirt for 4th of July, and this was a couple of gals. This one right there is my best friend, Tina. But we're being goofy and we're modeling sweaters from the store. We all have on the same sweater. I don't know why we did that. But anyway, I just wanted to share just a teeny weensy bit about my store. And the place was supposed to be a place you wish you could go or had been. And to me, I had my most favorite place I'd ever been was my store. And that's why I did that one. I miss my store. I wish I could have my, well, no, I'm I'm going to be 70 this year. I don't want a store. But anyway, the next one was a miniature landscape, a miniscape. And this little miniscape is my garden. It's actually almost exactly how it looks right now, except for this beautiful little fence and arch. I don't have that. But that's what I want in my yard. Not that you haven't looked at enough pictures already, but I wanted to show you pictures of my garden so you could see that I put in my little beach boardwalk, the little board trail last year, and almost all the flowers in my garden are from seed. I didn't plant any plants, except for maybe a couple of lavender bushes. But here's my little wooden beach boardwalk right in there. The base fabric is, the base fabric's it's 100% linen. It's from a designer that, her name is Suzanne Tucker, and she's in the Bay Area. She's in San Francisco. And I would call her today like a textile artist. She creates the most amazing fabrics, and she is inspired by historic gardens. And this piece of fabric that's my base fabric was actually inspired by the Filoli estate, which is an incredible garden grounds. You can't imagine. But from the street, this is exactly how my little garden looks. The only thing is my house is right here, and there is a side gate there that someday will be an arch that I will grow some pretty little flowers on. I didn't have room for a sunshine because in my yard, it's by the beach and it's mostly cloudy. But so I put this this little sprig of vintage crochet doily scrap to represent like a little coastal cloud. And that's why I didn't put my house in there. I've seen a lot of these with the little house, and part of me wishes I would have stuck the house because I have a real cute little yellow house with white trim, but it was easier to do this little fence. So there's that one. So cute doing those. I loved them. The next one was seed stitch. This was so simple and wonderful and like zen. What I love most about, I started this a couple of different times with brown velvet, and using the cotton wadding under it made everything where the stitches came up super cloudy or fuzzy or whatever. So I switched to I think this is linen and rayon and nylon and that kind of fabric. It's almost silky. And it's a gray kind of silver. There's I don't know if you can see the woven quality of the fabric, but it's got a grid, and I think it's a real contrast with the organic quality of the seed stitch. The other thing too that I noticed that didn't happen in the other ones I was doing with seed stitch is these almost look like italic seed stitches, if you will, and I think it's because the fabric itself is a twill. And so there's like a teeny little bit of my stitch at each end that disappears in the fabric, gives it that slanty kind of look. So I like it. I didn't plan that on purpose or deliberately, but I do enjoy how it looks now. The next one was couching. And we were supposed to look through our tags, see a fabric color we haven't used. And I've used every color, the rainbow and all, with the accumulation of the tag so far, there was not a color I missed. So I thought about the types of fabric that I haven't used, which was like chenille, velvet, corduroy, and that kind of thing. And I have not used denim yet. So I just couched everything on with denim. I used the flat felled seams of 3 pair, and then I rolled the fabric because I really love how everyone's tags with the rolled fabric, especially Anne's tag with the rolled fabric looks. And basically there's just straight stitches on all of these. There is a design to the pattern, and then of the stitches, and then these are just the bullion across the rolled piece of fabric, and this is a double needle cross stitch where you thread a bead or tie a square knot in the middle before you proceed, and then keep going. So that's what I decided to do for that. And this one I had to glue on because I couldn't sew them on like I've sewn on the others, because getting my needle through the denim was impossible. And the last one is miniature hexies, or was it miniature hexies? Oh yeah, and then we were gonna do some really great stitching on the top. And so I made all my hexies. But this is as far as I got because of how much work my garden is. It is so full of things I have to manage out there, and a few other things I'm working on that I didn't have time to finish this. The block though, the real stall for me not finishing this was 2 things. One, I don't have a vintage little quilt that I could have put it on, and these are very old fabrics. You can tell by the designs in them. I really wanted an old quilt base to put it on. So that's one stall, and the other stall was this. I am so in love with the wrong side, I don't want to turn it over on the right side. So, and if I stitched it down, it wouldn't look, you know, with those pretty running stitches that we were supposed to do in our project. If I did those, then I wouldn't have all this fluffy stuff. And I really am so tickled with how that looks. I mean, I could even see putting it on the edge of like a jean jacket or something. It's so cool. But anyway, I will probably just give it more thought and take my time, and maybe even make another whole batch of hexies to do my tag with, because I love these the way they are. There's such a like sweet little memory of our little project. I might just make it a 53 tag and put this one with my number 18. But anyway, that's where I'm at for now. I wish I had finished this so I felt a little better about participating in today's like show and tell. But I did want to get my tags out to, you know, so you guys could see them before tomorrow's tag starts for May. These were April's tags. So anyway, I had a ton of fun making them. I had a ton of fun watching all of yours, and the ones that I enjoy kind of the most are the ones over on Instagram, on always, because there's so many over there. But anyway, thanks for watching my video and hanging out with me while I did my tags. Well, not while I did them, but while I showed them. And I will see you next month with my next set of tags. Bye-bye for now.